Heartfelt Plea. Coco Gauff's mom exposes shocking late-night harassment and calls for justice. The world knows Coco Gauff as a rising superstar in tennis, an athlete whose fierce determination, agility, and mental toughness have made her one of the brightest stars on the WTA Tour. But behind the spotlight, behind the roaring crowds and camera flashes, Coco faced a nightmare that no young athlete or anyone should endure. It wasn't an injury, a loss, or a tough opponent. It was harassment. Late at night, messages of intimidation, fear, and cruelty that crept into her life like an unwelcome shadow. And when her mother, Coco Gauff, finally spoke out, the world realized how urgent this issue had become, not just for Coco, but for countless young women and athletes everywhere. The terrifying late-night messages. It was a quiet night in early October. Coco had just returned home after a grueling tournament, exhausted but proud of her performance. She was finally ready to rest, to relax in the safety of her family home in Florida. Then her phone buzzed again and again and again. At first, she thought it was routine fan messages, social media notifications, or perhaps a delayed group chat. But when she opened them, her blood ran cold. These weren't casual messages. They were threats, explicit, aggressive, and deeply personal. The sender seemed to know her schedule, where she had been, and when she would be alone. One message stood out, a line that sent a chill down her spine. "I know when you're home. You can't hide from me." Fear gripped Coco. She locked her doors and called her mother. A mother's protectiveness ignites. Coco Gauff rushed to her daughter's side. In that moment, Coco was no longer the tennis superstar the world celebrated. She was her child, scared and vulnerable. Seeing her face pale, her eyes wide with fear, Candy's maternal instinct surged. For years, Candy had watched her daughter balance the pressures of the sport, fame, and expectations. She had known the world could be cruel, but nothing had prepared her for direct, targeted harassment her daughter was experiencing. Without hesitation, Candy contacted law enforcement, her daughter's security team, and online safety experts. The perpetrator would be traced, and measures would be put in place. But Candy also knew that protecting her daughter physically wasn't enough. The emotional toll, the fear, the psychological trauma, these needed a voice. And that's when she decided to speak out publicly. A heartfelt plea goes viral. 2 days later, Candy posted a heartfelt video on social media. Her voice shook with emotion, yet carried a fierce determination that resonated with millions around the world. "I never thought I would make a video like this," she began. "But as a mother, I cannot stay silent while my daughter lives in fear. Last night, Coco was harassed, late-night messages, threats, and words no young woman should ever face. This is not part of fame. This is abuse, and it has to stop." She looked directly into the camera, her eyes glistening. "I'm calling on everyone. We must protect our children. We must stand up for victims. And we must demand justice." Within hours, the post went viral. Fans, athletes, and public figures flooded the comments section with messages of support. Hashtags like #EndTheAbuse, #JusticeForCoco, and #ProtectYoungAthletes began trending worldwide. Suddenly, this was not just Coco's fight. It was a global call to action. Global support pours in. The response was overwhelming. Athletes from every sport publicly supported Coco and her family. Serena Williams, Naomi Osaka, Ben Shelton, and even retired stars spoke about the importance of protecting young athletes. Advocacy groups focused on online harassment and cyber safety amplified the message. Schools and training academies reached out to share resources on protecting students and athletes. Parents, inspired by Candy's courage, shared their own stories. Suddenly, a late-night terror that had haunted a young tennis star became a conversation about the larger issues of safety, respect, and justice for everyone. Coco Gauff's heartfelt plea became a rallying cry. And Coco, though shaken, began to see the silver lining. She was not alone. Inside Coco's silent struggle, despite the public support, Coco faced an internal battle. The harassment had shaken her confidence. Sleep was difficult. Even training felt heavy, with her mind constantly alert to the threat lurking online. But through it all, her family support became her anchor. Candy stayed by her side during late-night practice sessions. Her father monitored security, and her siblings offered constant encouragement. One night, after a particularly exhausting practice, Coco whispered, "I don't want to seem weak." Her mother held her close and replied, "Strength isn't about never being afraid. Strength is about facing fear and surviving it. That's what makes you powerful." It was a turning point. Coco realized that acknowledging fear didn't make her weak. It made her human. And in her humanity lay the courage to rise above, turning pain into purpose. Coco decided to reclaim her power publicly. At a press conference before a major tournament, she addressed the harassment head-on. "I didn't want to talk about this at first," she admitted, "but I realized silence helps no one. Harassment is real, and it is terrifying. It happens to so many young women who don't have a platform. I want to speak for them." Her words were met with thunderous applause from the media and supporters in the room. We deserve safety. We deserve respect. And we deserve justice. The message resonated far beyond tennis courts, stadiums, and social media. It sparked a movement, encouraging countless young athletes to come forward, share their experiences, and demand accountability. The movement grows. The Gauff family's courage became a catalyst for change. Organizations that focus on cyber safety began campaigns to educate athletes and parents on protecting personal information. Schools and academies across the United States held seminars on online harassment and prevention. Social media platforms announced new measures to better protect minors from threats and abusive messaging. And most importantly, young athletes felt empowered to speak up. A teenager posted, "Because of Coco and her mom, I told someone about what's been happening to me for years. I'm not alone anymore." The ripple effect was undeniable. One family's bravery sparked awareness, dialogue, and advocacy across the globe. A return to the court, courage on display. When Coco returned to competition, fans feared she might be distracted or fearful. Instead, she walked onto court with renewed determination, a story beyond sports. The 2025 season of Coco Gauff will be remembered not only for her incredible talent and matches won, but also for the bravery her family displayed off the court. It is a story of fear turned into strength, pain turned into purpose, and silence turned into a rallying cry. This story is bigger than tennis. It is about safety, respect, justice, and the courage to speak up. It is a reminder that even in the glittering world of professional sports, real-life challenges exist, and that standing up against harassment is both necessary and heroic. Coco Gauff and her mother taught the world an invaluable lesson. Courage is in the absence of fear. Courage is speaking out, standing tall, and demanding justice, even when the night is darkest. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.